Azir ban so far from Cloud9, and the Mbessa and Nocturne taken out. They're fearful of that, combination engage play.
Okay, so we've had Karma banned every game. We've had Azir banned. Mbessa and Nocturne. Mbessa was banned second half in game number 1. Nocturne was banned second half in game number 2, if I'm remembering correctly. Now remember that Seraphine has also been banned out every time so far here in the first half of the draft. Pantheon has also been one of those permanent bans, so that one's going to be removed by LYON. Varus is still up. That's another one that's been banned in the first 6 so far in both of our games. So I'm curious, what are we going to let through? Orianna, also still up.
Yeah, without the Nocturne, a little bit less, but still impressive. Let's see what they're going to decide to go with. It has been such high bot priority for Cloud9. They first picked Yunara in the first game, then they first picked Nami in the second game. So really trying to get some sort of that bot lane prio super early on. Ashe Seraphine is definitely very powerful right now. So they want to go with the Seraphine side. Of course, you can pair it with more things than Ashe, but having the slow is super nice. And into the Seraphine, there's multiple options. Interesting, they're going with the Bard here for Vulcan. So Vulcan definitely is a huge Bard lover and a very good Bard, but maybe they're going to get Zven something fairly safe on so that he can just kind of farm down there, and then they can have more roam time for Vulcan. Because the other angle to go with is always trying to kill the Seraphine lane and go for hook champions. But not this time around, because Nautilus was already played. And so pretty easy Ashe Seraphine angle for Berserker and Isles.
Okay, we'll see how much pressure they can get out of this one, see how much extra presence Vulcan will be able to have across the map with that Bard. When people think of NA Bards, Busio is always the one that comes to mind first and foremost, but Vulcan is also one of our better Bard players. I feel like a lot of times he will put on impressive performances with the champion, and we're going to go ahead and see LYON slam the Akali mid for Sane as the response to APA's Orianna.
Yeah, these are always my favorite ones where you give the Orianna and then you take something that can attack it and put kill pressure not only in lane, but really in side lanes later on as well. So if you want to try and make use of this Bard later on and using ults and trying to get some roaming pressure down, like it's pretty dangerous even for Orianna to be out there. That's a safe champion I was talking about there for Zven, so you can pair it with the Bard and stay pretty safe yourself. Mystic shots, keep your distance, but honestly, on the opener, I do like the LYON side.
Okay.
I always really like the Akali angle here. Maybe they'll have some good defensive play there with the Bard, but take a look at the jungle because jungle's really been whittled down. So I want to see if they throw some more bans here and try and push them out a little bit more. Jungle has been pretty advantageous regardless for Inspired for LYON. And I wonder if Blaber might have to actually be on another just like utility jungle this time.
Like a meatball
this time around too. But they're basically out of their last 2 picks, they need someone to deliver the Orianna ball, and someone to have their hard engage for them. So let's see what they decide to go with. I mean, Thanatos, main champions, just kind of getting chipped away at here again with the Gnar ban from LYON. Obviously, the Dhokla counter pick did not work out well last time around with the cannon. That was certainly a drawback.
Yeah, Dhokla's going to want that one back, but looks like we are going to get a Malphite ban here. I mean, that's a useful ban against both top and jungle, right? So a little bit of double value there.
Yeah, Inspired was definitely one of our biggest jungle Malphite enthusiasts that we've had. And pretty good targeting there. A couple of the jungle tanks, because kind of expecting the big front line from LYON regardless.
Yeah. Well, let's see if LYON want to ban out another one of these top lane options here for Thanatos, and we will see the Olaf ban away.
That is a very good one. Ashe Seraphine, obviously, they rely very heavily on CC.
It's their whole thing.
And they crumple in the face of an Olaf. So I like that. Really like that ban, actually. Taking away the possibility of, honestly, either Thanatos or Blaber. Blaber in his day was a great jungle Olaf as well, so good kind of double ban coverage here.
Okay. Whenever I see a Poppy locked in, I always immediately think, what is the value of the Steadfast Presence. It can be very, very powerful against Akali when she tries to go in to stop her from being able to do all of her ninja stuff and flip around and hop and skip and jump. Obviously doesn't have really any value against the Seraphine and the Ashe because neither one of them have dashes. So we'll see how much value they will be able to get out of stopping Saint's mobility in these fights. LYON do now need to show us what we're going to get here for that front line like you're talking about. When I think front line, I feel like Sion fits the bill.
So then, is Thanatos going to play Gwen into the Sion and try and just demolish him again and have a big carry in the top lane? Because they very well could. They could try and counterpick and go like a Gwen angle or something, kind of carry there for Thanatos and beat that Sion. But we'll see. Overall, I like the blind Sion anyway because you're going to have Ashe Seraphine that you need that front line. So the Sion and the Wukong, I think both are good picks for them. It's just that, yep, okay.
They didn't take a long time to answer your question.
Yeah, exactly as expected. Slam that as soon as you see the Sion. You know that Gwen is coming to snip, snip. All right, can Thanatos have another carry top game? Top diff here for Cloud9, or will LYON team play be able to pull it off? Personally, I do like the LYON side because it has the big team fight with the Ashe Seraphine Sion. It also, the cheers, by the way, they fixed the in-game studio screens here. That's big for the audience.
Yeah.
They can see!
We got the screen operating at full power. We got the draft completed for our game number 3. LYON's got so much engage again.
But I think the real big thing for me is going to be how effective is this Akali? Okay. I have pretty big confidence that Saint is going to be one of those terrifying Akalis. And the thing is, even with your Gwen advantage into Sion, your Gwen also could struggle against the Akali. So either the Orianna or the Gwen, if Akali has a good early start, both of those could be good matchups for Saint. So I'm leaning towards the LYON side, but we'll see. It definitely depends on how fed Thanatos can get.
Inspired also on the Wukong. Wukong plus Seraphine together, I just feel like there's so much engage power with this. Wukong jumps in, he does his first Cyclone, gets the knock-up. Seraphine can fire her ulti through both Wukong and Wukong's clone for maximum overkill range. And then, okay, cool, now we've got Cyclone number 2. Oh, here comes Sion. Oh, here comes an Ashe arrow. There's just so many layers that you can put onto this. It's a real problem if C9 is not taking care to keep their vision up, make sure they watch their flanks and not get caught off guard.
Definitely is dangerous out there. Meanwhile, Thanatos has got the foremost Russian top lane camped, and Ward being down was already spotted, so Inspired knows that they've got vision on him on his Raptor start.
Vulcan also going with the Electrocute on the Bard in this one. This is one of these champs that I feel like we do see a variety of different keystones on. Summoner Spellbook being one of the ones that can be pretty prolific, so I always like to double check for those, see if we can expect any Summoner spell swapping throughout the game, but not going to happen here in this one. Checking where junglers are starting. We are on opposite sides of the rift, so should see Inspired pathing towards top. Meanwhile, Blaber will be heading towards the bottom lane, and I feel like if you're Blaber, you just want to have the early game not be the game 2 early game.
Well, it should be fine because Wukong's a farmer jungler and not Jarvan style kick your ass early jungle. So I think he's going to be fine. It's actually more on Poppy has a lot of like early creative angles he could go for. And especially if the skill shots from Zven and Vulcan are landing onto Isles. We had the camera down there for a little bit at the beginning as APA takes a nice turret shot and gets a Pepega Frog emote from
I love that emote.
From Saint as a response. Isles was taking a couple of the early Mystic shots and some damage, so have to be a little bit careful there as the Ashe Seraphine early on. Of course, the Seraphine is squishy, is vulnerable. You've got plenty of CC and set up for yourselves, but have to be worried if you eat too many skill shots.
All right, Dhokla eating the business end of the scissors up here as Thanatos on the Gwen will try to put as much pressure onto this Sion early as is possible. Inspired pathing up towards this top side of the map. Now you can see clearing the smaller camps before he goes for the red buff. Meanwhile, Berserker and Isles still just chilling down here. Again, it's all about those skill shots like you're talking about. Can Zven and Vulcan constantly find those, constantly make sure they're putting pressure on the Seraphine's mana, make sure she can't just be an infinite battery of of resources in the lane. Thanatos wants to get this wave crashed in. Dhokla doesn't have a lot of resources to work with. Inspired in the top side of the river here, going to clear out that Scuttle Crab. Dhokla's down to about 100 HP, and this lane does not look fun, Kobe.
Yo, Bard mid is waiting for the teleport from Akali as well. So I wonder if Vulcan could... Okay, it looks like about 200, 250 health worth of damage on arrival for Saint.
Plus hot cocoa.
Plus hot cocoa deliveries for
Yeah.
the Orianna. Some big health differences from Vulcan presence, but Blaber did the full clear recall and skipping Scuttle Crab, so he could be here early with the Poppy for contesting these Raptors. I actually really like this from Blaber because Poppy, especially when you know you've got a roaming support like Bard, if you get your buy timer, it's definitely worth skipping the early crab so you can just take away those Raptors from Inspired. He's never going to get those back. Meanwhile, you can just go get your crab afterwards anyway. So nice little maneuver there from Blaber to very, very slightly delay the Wukong farming. Just take away one camp and make use of the Bard roam.
Okay, Blaber.
Oh, dude!
Ooh, that feels bad. Losing the Scuttle Crab to the enemy support. Blaber's Crabbers do not succeed today.
Take back what I said. You
Okay.
can't go get the Scuttle whenever you want.
Nope.
Not when Isles
Not
is
if
watching.
Seraphine is right there ready and waiting to steal it away with a high note. So Isles will be happy about that one. 30 seconds until we have our first dragon spawn in this game. We haven't really seen super early dragon priority so far. I feel like it was around 8 minutes in game number 2, around 7 minutes in game number 1, I think. But we're not seeing anybody just beeline straight forward as soon as it spawns.
Yeah, not important for me so far.
I got it actually.
Oh, nice.
Really? Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty nice.
It's not expected thing, but it is nice. Inspired. The little clip that kind of cut off what he was saying ahead of time, but he started that way. He started that replay by saying it's not that important for me. So seems like he wasn't that worried.
Okay, Saint trying to go in after APA, but immediately jumps back after Vulcan's ready for the follow-up. Blaber wants to dive in for the tackle. First blood, C9.
The double gank. Bard roams from Vulcan, finding some extra power here with Blaber there to finish it off. Vulcan gets the flash out of him, and Blaber finishes it off. Now Inspired's going for a Gromp steal here. Blaber's on the hunt, and Blaber has Smite too. Smite fight! Oh,
Nope.
He doesn't walk up to go see it.
It's just Gromp violence again from Inspired. Moves in, steals that one away, but C9 are going to be happy about Blaber getting himself that first blood here
Yeah.
on the Poppy, swooping in to pick up that kill on Saint.
You may have stole my Gromp, but I stole your mid lane champion camp.
The most important camp. Nice CC there on Vulcan. Berserker and Isles continuing to go forward. They want the kill onto the Bard. Berserker going through the magical journey, and he finds the kill. C9 under serious pressure now as Zven barely stays alive. Blaber's ready to follow it up, and Zven gets the kill with a Mystic Shot. Now Saint's coming in over the wall, trying to protect Isles, who does flash away to barely live.
Ooh, we are getting hot. I mean, I like the first chase, but then Blaber on the timer here to... Wait, does that...
You gotta be kidding me. Nice shot.
I'm going to look, see if there was any When was the last time they saw Seraphine? Let me see here. Continue, Flowers.
Okay.
Investigate.
All right. Kobe is investigating whatever's happening right now as Inspired does have to pop the Cyclone. Let's see if there's anything he can do here. Doesn't really look like it. Yeah, he's got Saint next to him, but C9 are moving as a unit. They know that if this Akali is allowed to try to pick off stragglers, that's exactly where she wants to be, but nobody on C9 is straggling.
All right, that was pure blind from Sven. The last time they saw Seraphine was as Seraphine just exited their own tribe rush. So it's not like he saw him walk into the lower part, because Ezreal very clearly targeted the lower part of that tribe rush.
Yeah.
It could have been either the top side or the bottom side of it, but really good prediction and snipe there from Zven to get the other kill. So this ends up, Flowers, with actually being a 2-for-1 in Cloud9's favor. Because Berserker and Isles, they do get the chase kill onto Vulcan. But because of Blaber's recall time in there, he is there for the pickup. And then this one, by the way, nice snipe. He guessed on the bottom side of the tribe rush.
Oh!
I feel like that was all of us in that moment.
Yeah, I like these.
That was a pretty good shot, though. But yeah, Zven living there. In that initial dive, you saw the Seraphine try to get the lockdown, try to get the root. It just barely misses Zven. If that hits, they can follow up and secure the kill onto the Ezreal. Then he can't fire back for the extra damage onto Berserker. He can't get the snipe onto Isles. So Zven staying alive there ends up being a big swing in the overall outcome of that play. Beautiful shot comes out from Berserker here with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Now APA's got to try to get away from Saint. Flashes back and stays alive.
Okay, flash acquired. That's what they're looking for. Ult for ult trade, but extra flash advantage now for Saint. The Orianna definitely going to have a bit of a dangerous time. This is one of the things from Champ Select you're looking at is how effectively can they attack this Orianna. So nice Ashe arrow from Berserker and follow up there from Saint to get the flash out. But Thanatos has been, I guess this is probably about the expected level of Thanatosing and farm advantage in the Gwen versus Sion.
A little bit of damage here on the Vulcan as the Bard just continues roaming around, continues dropping off these hot cocos for APA. Each one of those giving the value of, like, you know, a health potion or something. It adds up over time, just providing all of this extra sustain. As long as Orianna can't get chipped down, it's much harder for the Akali to feel like he's at a spot where he can really force APA to play more defensively, where Saint can kind of have that control over the lane. So I like what we're getting from Vulcan so far here in this early game. C9 up about 1,000 gold. Berserker and Isles trying to keep the pressure on down here in bottom. Farm dead even between the two carries right now. But overall, it's just slight leads towards pretty much everybody on C9 over their LYON counterparts. The only exception being that Isles has a little bit more money on his Seraphine. But it's the Gromp. Again, every single time that the Gromp is alive in the enemy jungle, Inspired wants that frog.
So the Frog does give pretty high rewards as far as jungle camps go. Good gold experience combination, more than Raptors or Wolves. But as far as those Bard shrines, they're really annoying early when the Bard is giving them, you know, like level 1 and stuff to your, you know, laners. But they only like grow to 50 health. So later on, it's not as big.
It's that store brand hot cocoa.
Yeah, sometimes the speed boost, if they're like in a really convenient spot, though, can be super nice too. But we'll see. Dragon advantage for LYON versus the gold and the grubs for Cloud9 and Blaber. He's on the attack now, but it's another Gromp that belongs to Inspired.
You can't out-Gromp the Gromp Master. Nice, there's your Tempered Fate down here with the bottom lane. Vulcan setting this up. Isles takes a lot of burst damage, but they don't have quite enough to kill him here just yet. Inspired locking up Blaber, needs a little bit more with the second cast of the Cyclone, gets it done now. Inspired repositioning, but he has to die. He can't get all the way through as Saint arrives into the fight, finds the assassination on Zven, and now APA's got no way home. LYON ends up finding their angle.
Really nice counter there from a LYON. Reignover happy with that one as well. And getting paid. Guess what? The Akali Gunblade is now done. Plus, he's got extra magic resistance and boots already from the earlier purchases. So the terror of the Akali Flowers mid-game, I think, is going to be very real. Saint is going to have a fun time in the side lanes. Here's another look at it. So even though it starts out with a really good ult and follow-up Q from Vulcan, like he times it perfectly. Vulcan got both in the ult, he times the binding perfectly. But the answer in the delay there, Isles got his ult off and then he flashed away to safety. So Inspired is happy to sacrifice himself on the front lines to ensure that they can get the follow-up because he knows Saint is on his way down and he's going to be able to turn the difference here. Berserker constantly slowing them all and LYON getting the better in the counter.
Okay, now Vulcan again trying to invade the enemy jungle, but quickly being forced back out, goes on a magical journey to escape, keep himself alive. That Akali is a nightmare to deal with, Kobe, and you already mentioned back in the draft, whichever one of the side laners has to deal with him, if Saint is far ahead of the pace of the game, it's not fun for the Orianna or the Gwen, as now Blaber just trying to get out of this bottom side river, does not want to find himself in a compromised position here, does have his MasterCard power spike with the Sundered Sky, but still just got to be careful when LYON are lurking and looking for these picks. Saint still doesn't have the, well, hold on, that might just be the UI not telling me the correct information, but once Saint has his ulti up, that's going to be really scary.
Yeah, definitely has huge kill pressure because a lot of key flashes, or at least the key flash is...
okay, he's got it.
Is still down for APA. Yeah, the scoreboard's kind of bugging out. APA's flash actually only has a few seconds on it. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Now, Thanatos is going to be paid a visit by Saint, but there's no opportunity for LYON to really look for anything on the C9 top laner. Blaber and Vulcan again, just kind of shadowing APA as he shoves out this wave, completes his mid lane quest right there. Berserker and Isles noticing that the enemy support has roamed yet again, just trying to maintain control over the lane, but they do have to play with enough respect that they don't get punished as Vulcan and Blaber return to the bottom side of the map. Both junglers hanging around the area here as Zven just continues to try to land these Mystic shots, find a little bit of poke, but he's got to be careful himself as Berserker's volleys keep finding their target.
Yeah, it does see there a little bit of poke damage. Now Akali roam is coming first.
Okay.
So LYON moving up for extra space because Saint has the early pathway, but they call it off now. Honey Fruit, really, really good sustain here, and LYON can just start up the dragon off this. Still, Zven and Vulcan have been poked a little bit at the start of this.
Okay. Here we go. Potential dragon fight. 4v4 down here in the river. Top laner teleports are ready to go if they want to try to join. Dragon down to 2,000 HP. Keeper's verdict. Nice usage there from C9. Guarantees that they can secure the objective without having to fight LYON for it.
Yeah, really good. You know, Poppy and Bard utility combo is so nice. You can Poppy ult them out and you can Bard escape tunnel so they can't even chase you down afterwards. Great stuff there from Blaber. Poppy ultimate land, secure the smite, and nice little heist from Cloud9.
And honestly, Kobe, 14.5 minutes into the game, we got a real close one here in game number 3. I always like it when the last game of a series is the closest game of the series, and I feel like that's what we're getting here on day 1 of spring. Thanatos has to be a little bit mindful of what LYON's trying to do here. Saint does arrive into the top lane, looking to see if maybe he can finish this off. Jumps in after Thanatos, smoke screen is down, and Saint's got the burst. But now he'll be punished. Blaber's there, ready to clean it up. Stun locks him underneath the turret to make it an even trade.
I feel like that's a case of, I just used my teleport up here. I'm going to get paid.
Yeah, I'm getting something. I didn't press the button for no reason.
You may kill me, but I'm definitely killing you.
And I don't know, man. I feel like if I'm going to pick between an Akali and a Poppy to have kills, I would rather have the Akali with all of the kills.
Agreed. Agreed. More danger with the Akali. Okay, so teleport invested for that play as well as the Akali ult, which honestly the cooldown is very short already because it's rank 2 already, so doesn't even have to wait that long to become a really big side lane threat again. All the outer towers are still up though, so it's not hugely problematic at the moment. And honestly, maybe I'm looking at the next Ashe arrow as the real ignition tool here for LYON, but because Akali has no teleport, this should be Cloud9 guaranteed. Rift Herald, LYON really have no business going over there.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if they chose to try to fight around an objective that their fed Akali cannot make it to in any reasonable amount of time. But Dhokla has to flash away now. Tempered Fate still finds him. Blaber's going to summon up the Herald, and honestly, I feel like this is just a blunder from Dhokla. What are we doing here?
It is. He was like autoing the pink ward or something.
Yeah, that one was confusing.
Did we just see a death for our one auto on a ward or something?
No way. No way, right?
Yeah, man, that was a ward battle, bro.
Well, unlucky. Dhokla's going to want that one back.
And he didn't even kill the ward.
Yeah, he dies without getting the ward. He's going to lose his turret. That's the first turret of the game. That's more money in the Gwen's pocket. We're talking about Akali being a fed side lane threat. Guess what? Gwen is immune.
Okay, we did say it does, you know, it does depend on how fed Thanatos can get. And as you say, a little influx of gold, that is quite nice. Barely getting the first turret bonus. Let's see, 1,000 gold the advantage of Cloud9. They know that Thanatos at least doesn't have flash.
Yeah, and Inspired is going to full commit for this one. Thanatos has no flash and he has no needlework, so he can't drain tank to keep himself alive a little bit longer, so Inspired just beats him down, ties our game back up 6-6.
All right, there you go. They kind of bring that one back nicely for themselves. Wukong and Akali both need money, so good stuff here for Inspired to get paid. Both of them can easily get inside the Shroud. Both of them can put high pressure on Orianna. So that diving duo is definitely going to be painful for Cloud9. We'll see about Vulcan's ulti here on Bard. Sometimes the defensive ones can be exceptional. Berserker in the mid lane here, though, seems positioned pretty nicely. I mean, Inspired does lose his blue, but I'm still, the next Ashe arrow, I feel like they do have another opportunity. Jumps in, goes for it, but Blaber still secures.
And I feel like Berserker is just rushing Hex Optics on everything. He seems to be very, very fond of this item.
A lot of AD carries do, because it's efficient, it's pretty cheap. It's like a really good early item. Lots of value, especially since they made it really easy to get the range value from it now too. So I think I'm definitely on board with it.
Okay.
I think it's a good early all-arounder for most crit AD carries.
Well, he's also got the Phantom Dancer completed now, second full item. As over on the other side, Zven is about to hit a power spike of his own with the Manamune almost evolved into the Muramana, but now Thanatos facing the pressure of Inspired here yet again. Full charge decimating smash, and there's no way for the Gwen to get away from that one. But now Isles is in some danger. Blast Cone over the wall, back to the safety of Berserker. Means that C9 is not going to get a punish there.
Man, yeah, the side lanes are already a problem for Cloud9, and it's not even the Akali, it's really the Wukong. Inspired. Yep. Inspired just kind of running Thanatos now. Got him on the bottom side before Dragon, so it should be very good for LYON, but Dhokla is taking a lot of damage early.
Yeah, they committed the shockwave to the lone Sion, and it's going to end up resulting in a kill. APA getting the credit for that one as Dhokla is already out of the picture. The Drake is secured by Inspired and LYON as Blaber jumps into the mix, but now he's taken a ton of damage from Berserker's focus fire. Keeper's Verdict knocks the LYON AD carry away, keeps Blaber safe for now, but objective still goes LYON's way.
Let's see. Is this going to mean much on the other side? I mean, I wonder how this Akali Gwen goes right now. Santos doesn't have ult, but Saint does. I guess he's just going to recall anyways because it's a little deep. Yeah, it just got kind of weird there as Dhokla's on the backside. So Cloud9, I think they're, happy at least to still get money, even though they couldn't get Blaber quite in there in time to steal that dragon. And it's just a good secure from Inspired, gets the combo damage.
All right,
I don't know if he had the full range there or not, coming through the magical journey. Pretty close.
And they've still got that about 1,000 gold lead overall. You can see the biggest advantage for LYON is Saint's Akali. He's level 13 compared to level 14 of Thanatos, though. Top lane quest, of course, paying dividends with that bonus EXP. But Saint is still perfectly confident just to get this wave pushed out down here in the bottom lane. Baron's alive, but because the game is so close, I don't really expect to see anybody doing some sneaky YOLO Barons anytime soon. And we don't have a dragon on the map for another 4 minutes almost. So I feel like maybe it slows down a little bit here. Maybe.
I mean, unless we do have some sort of, Ashe arrow hitting somebody, which is pretty hard since Ezreal is super mobile. Orianna still has flash right now. Gwen can easily just W it. So yeah, and maybe a Bard initiation like Vulcan. Okay. Vulcan can try and get summoner spells off of either Ashe or Seraphine, making a kind of a pass-through mid now too. You can just look for that, but LYON should be able to push on both sides, and Saint does, yeah. The Akali is just so mobile. That's why it's still pretty good.
Ooh, nice arrow there from Berserker. Finds Vulcan before he can go on a magical journey, and they shoot down the C9 support. Nice pick.
Yeah, beautiful pick here. That's going to open up a lot of territory around mid. Blaber gets pushed out of the jungle here by Inspired, and the tower goes down. Dhokla blast cones over as well to make sure they can finish the objective. Good pick from LYON into instant tower take, and the Akali on bottom side constantly keeps up the pressure here. You can dance in and out of the Gwen range, dodge most of anything that's really going to affect you. So, play safe, be very mobile, try and take a cheeky auto on a crystal when the crystal's built up on the tower.
The crust.
The crust.
Yeah.
The gold crust.
If you can knock the tower crust off of the tower, then you're going to get that extra little payday. Makes it worth staying down there, keeping Thanatos locked in the lane where he can't try to join the fights and become the type of raid boss that he was on the Renekton in the previous game. 7 to 8, still very close overall in kills. 2 minutes until our next Drake spawns. Do you think we're going to get a fight for this one? Because it is a Chem Soul, lower value than normal, plus it's only 1 to 2 in the Drake count.
I actually think with it we are, because we've got 2 item power spikes for basically everyone by that time. Thanatos probably will have his finished.
Okay.
Or definitely will have his finished. So I think it definitely will be competitive. It depends on the setup here, but C9, there's so much variance between Bard and Poppy ultis. Like those things can make a fight look completely one-sided. Yeah, heaven or hell. They can be completely one-sided and just look like a giga gap if you get a super crazy Bard ulti and Poppy ult takes like half their team out of the fight or something. So we'll see if those are effective. I would hope for Cloud9 side though that they would be able to find a Bard or something ult onto the Ashe or Seraphine early. Because Ashe and Seraphine come into a team fight with both summoner spells is a completely different monster than if they don't have their flashes. Then they're super vulnerable and you can actually make a really, put a lot of pressure. But Berserker and Isles have done a pretty good job of keeping their summoner spells and being really big threats here and finding actually picks of their own with their Asher on Seraphine ults.
I mean, Seraphine's pretty much full build, man. He's got his Echoes of Helia plus his Diadem of Songs. Like, this is the support power battery that just constantly keeps the heals and the shields spamming, makes it so difficult. Unless you can just kill her instantly like you're talking about, have some big engage. But LYON have control over the mid lane wave right now. Dhokla and Berserker are going to clear out those enemy minions first. 20 seconds until the Drake spawns, and LYON wants to make sure they've got control. They'll use the Hawk Shot just to confirm that C9's not trying to sneak the Baron away. That would be one of the ways to accidentally blunder your position of strength away.
Okay, so they're sending APA to push one more wave on top. Thanatos, unless he actually uses needlework, I don't think they're going to try and chase him down or anything, but
probably not. Oh, well, there is needlework being used down here in the bottom lane. Same with the flash, trying to stay alive, but no! Thanatos gets the pick. Saint falls. LYON at the same time trying to secure the dragon for themselves. They do have enough time to do so. The Tempered Fate and the True Shot Barrage aren't going to stop that. So a kill for a Drake.
I want to see the beginning of that. I wonder what Vulcan was able to land there, because Vulcan kind of like lane ganked for Thanatos there. They used the heal from Vulcan to get the speed, and Thanatos flash with his needlework to get the kill. But regardless,
Blaber with the blast cone over, trying to make the dive happen here from the tier 1 turret in mid lane. But Big Dokes has arrived with the Sion. So the turret does go over to C9, but LYON get the kill.
Sion is also immune. When he ults in,
Yep.
he is unstoppable. So Dhokla ults in right through this Poppy ult, right through Blaber's face. That was a costly error.
Yeah, that's massive. That's the enemy jungler dead for the next 30 seconds. Thanatos is down in the bot lane. He's teleporting back into the fight now, but he doesn't have the needlework ready to go here just yet. LYON are starting up the Baron. C9 coming to stop him. Not a particularly fast Baron here from LYON, as you do see the teleport being channeled from Saint, looking to make his way into the mix. Thanatos in the backside of the Baron pit, just trying to keep LYON distracted. Saint in the middle of everybody, has to dive out of the smoke. True Shot Barrage hits Saint and Isles both. Dhokla here on the front line, trying to buy some time. Thanatos again, right back into the Baron pit. Massive shockwave coming out from APA. Dhokla's gonna die here on the Sion. APA gets the kill credit on that one. C9 wants to clean up more of these kills, and Vulcan with the two-man binding. It's beautiful to pick up 2 more kills and put the money in Zven's pocket.
Oh, that was messy from LYON. We got to see the replay. That smite was either very early or he hit a champion with it. But he still ended up getting the Baron. Regardless, they die. A bunch of them die in the aftermath. Remember, Baron it gives like half the amount of gold it used to. So if you give up a bunch of kills, it's not worth anymore. But anyways, they actually stay on the Baron because there's no... Blaber's obviously dead, so there's no smite for Cloud9. But let's take a look at who they actually smite. Good damage from the Ezreal ult and Thanatos. They just say, all right, we finish it. And here comes the smite timing, but he smites like a champion. Yeah, he smites Thanatos. And then he's like, oh, shoot. And he still queues the Baron. He still gets the Baron as Thanatos is trying to kill Berserker, but it costs them... well, extra deaths because of the really nice flash there from Vulcan.
Yeah.
Vulcan, it was just going to be the one, but good flash from Vulcan.
What happened, guys? They don't have a smite.
Well, what happened is they got hit with the Ezreal ult. That was like 300 damage on like 3 different people.
Yep.
And Thanatos was stacking up his Riftmaker and just chewing through the Sion. And so Thanatos and Zven both did a lot of damage there as they chased him into the pit.
And now you can see Zven has the Serpent's Fang completed. There's so much shield value on the enemy team with the Seraphine, with the Sion. You can really get a ton of value out of this item. C9 are up 3,000 gold as a team, and now they're the ones controlling the bot side river. Dhokla's got to be a little bit mindful of his positioning here. Nice arrow flies out from Berserker to find its way onto APA, while Zven is under pressure from Inspired off on the left side of the fight here at the same time. Thanatos goes golden. LYON trying to get the punish here, but it's Inspired who dies first. C9 are already winning the team fight, and APA with the shockwave completely removes Isles from the rip. Thanatos with the kill credit on Dhokla there. Berserker cannot outfight the whole C9 squad, and that is a massive win for C9, 4-0.
Thanatos is dancing on them. Oh my goodness, he dodged everything. He really good arm guard there from him as well to create the space. And Cloud9, they're gonna ride this all the way to the base, Flowers.
They are going straight for the throat. Saint is the only one standing on LYON for the next 15 seconds or so. Sure, you'll have Isles back, but support Seraphine isn't going to be able to stop the C9 War Machine. Inhibitor already destroyed here in the bottom lane, and C9 are pushing straight for the Nexus. Saint tries to jump in, but he doesn't have the damage to kill Zven. The Akali falls. Inspired has finally come back to life. He jumps in after Thanatos, but they still don't have the damage to kill the Gwen. He goes back over to the Honey Fruit, eats those, and C9 are going to exfiltrate the base. Dhokla tries to jump in and get something back. Zven gets away from the arrow. LYON is still chasing, and C9 is still getting away. LYON just cannot confirm any of these kills.
LYON have lost all momentum in the entire game. It started with that Baron and ends with C9 destroying their inhibitor and one Nexus tower. LYON now still, like, they're trying to make the play extra long here, chasing them out, but their teleport comes back from Cloud9. They want to turn the tables here in the jungle, Blaber.
Yeah, LYON was thinking about the Dragon Soul, but no, it's not going to happen. Isles already chunked down to 1/3 HP. Blaber's got to be careful just a little bit as Inspired continues diving forward. Saint arrives. LYON still just trying to have any sort of a foothold here in this game. And right as Saint wanted to go in, he immediately gets stopped by Blaber. Meanwhile, we've got the fight back at the base at the same time as Thanatos is on a rampage, just once again tearing through the health bars of LYON. The Gwen just cannot be stopped. Snip, snip, make sure he uses the stasis to get away from the charge of the decimating smash. Shut down from Inspired onto Vulcan, but Thanatos is just gonna end the game. GG! C9 take down LYON.
Thanatos is a god. Holy, Cloud9 get their revenge for finals.